Instagram, are they gonna make it? Are you gonna make it? Instagram, we made it. How are we doing, everybody? Okay, welcome to the 9 at 9 show. 9 minutes at 9 in the morning with yours truly to give you behind the scenes of a little bit what's going down. Started the show because there are too many stories to tell from Funnel Hacking Lives for making it happen. Now, if you've been following the show every day, which some of you have, you will probably have picked up on some things about me, some habits maybe. And one thing is that I hate being cold. So I basically wear a sweatshirt every single day to bed, which means that when I wake up, this is often still on, which means, hello, a lot of my 9 at 9s are in this ClickFunnels Collective sweatshirt. So here we go. Thanks for the swag, ClickFunnels. Okay, you guys, today is the day. Today is the day. Oh, I made a mistake. I was going to have film for you. I've made so many mistakes. It's okay. Okay, so today is the day that I'm going to tell you about how I actually nearly fainted on stage. Quick recap, okay? At Funnel Hacking Live. Make it there. Celebrity status at the hotel. Never felt more fancy in my life. Go on the booze cruise. Fix the slides because of the FTC. Wake up the next morning. Do my sound check, okay? Do my sound check. Go back out. Sitting on the front row. Practicing my speech. Then it's time to go back. I go back. I'm backstage. I'm standing behind the screen. They're like, don't breathe deeply because there's fog going on. And so there I am, standing. Fog machine's filling up. I think I told you this yesterday. Like, we're so sorry. There's so much fog. I was like, literally, never apologize to me for doing a fog machine. Just don't do that, okay? So they do this fog machine for me. Okay, so here I am. Standing right here next to me is the stage manager. Standing right here is Don Mamoni, the photographer, the amazing photographer. Any cool picture you've seen of me has been taken by Don or his team. Then Melanie's right here. The doors are about to open. And there's another stage guy right here. And as the thing's opening, this guy's like, hold. And here's one thing, I do have to be honest, like I actually practiced like in my apartment by myself, walking onto stage and walking off a stage. What am I gonna do? How are we gonna set the stage? My brother, he's so funny. My brother's my personal assistant, so he does like all my like laundry and he's like such a good cook, so he'll cook all my food for me and like all this stuff. So I was practicing my speech, and like one of the things that I have at the beginning is like 30 seconds, establish the stage. And I had like left out my thing, and he was laughing at me that I said establish the stage, but I actually practiced establishing the stage, okay? But one thing I didn't anticipate was that I would like have to wait as the door opened. So all of a sudden so all of a sudden I'm standing there, fog, glitter jacket on, Britney Spears microphone, we're making it happen. And he's just like, hold. I'm standing right here. And the guy's like, hold. And as he's saying hold, I realize I'm just standing there. And I'm like standing, the doors are parting, and like the 5,000 people are starting to be able to see me. And it's cool because there's like this light and there's fog coming out so you can like see your silhouette. And for some reason that I'm just so grateful for, I realize that I have an opportunity. I'm standing there in one of the most rock star moments that will probably happen in my life. And I am just standing there and I'm like, if I have to hold, I might as well pose. So something, it just inspires me. I just like put my leg out, put my hand on my hip, own it. Just power pose. I was like, you want to know what? If I have a fog machine, I think I'm at liberty to do a power pose here. So he's like, hold. Then I do my power pose. And then he's like, you're free, go. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I walk out, say hello to the people, go over, hug Russell. I say to him, I'm like, thank you so much for having me. He says, you're going to do great. I said, thank you so much. Go back out. I had a plan to dance, but then I was like walking too fast. So I like kind of did this dance thing, and I had like a way bigger, more like routine at the beginning that I was going to rock, but then I panicked, you guys. I had way more dance moves that were going to come out, but I think it ended up being appropriate for what it was. Anyway, so I go out, blah, blah. If you remember, like, I literally know this because I practiced it, okay? Say hi to Russell. Come on. I do my little, like, do a little shoulder shimmy thing. Go to the right side, raise my hand. I'm like, how are we doing, funnel hackers? You guys remember this? You were there. You remember. Okay? And then I go like this. How are we doing? Because I just think I can't help myself. Anyway, so then I am there I am, clicker in hand, microphone, 4 monitors, okay? And this blaring countdown clock that is telling me how much time I have left. And I think I've communicated this. I can't tell you how many times it has been communicated to me that you don't go over to time. And it's expressed in this way. It's not like, don't go over on your time. It's, you will not disrespect Russell by going over on your time. And I'm like, you are so right. I won't do that. Russell, I won't do that. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so scary, but that's what happened. So we go out there, and I'm like, and I have to be honest, as those doors were parting, I literally wasn't nervous. Like, I actually was not nervous. I was hyped on life. I felt so powerful, and I just was, like, so grateful. Like, I was emotional because I was like, I can't believe that this is happening. This is actually the coolest thing in the world. So that's happening. So I get on stage, crowd's roaring. Thank you so much for all your applause, okay? And I say hello. Hi, funnel likers. How are you doing? Blah, blah. And if you guys remember, I was like, the official title of my conversation is How to Design Funnels That Convert, right? But because we're friends, the official title of my presentation is, and right as I get to that point where I'm about to say the love of my life, right? The love of my life, this is all true story. It was just, I think about that sometimes. I'm like, what a terrible thing. But that story, it's so funny. If you guys know, the unofficial title is How the Love of My Life Shattered My Heart, which sent me spiraling into depression, and how that helped me to develop a scientific framework for designing funnels that convert. So, like, that's like the unofficial title. I had so many, and it's all true. It's like, well, I wouldn't lie anyway, but like, it's all true. Like, none of it was hyperbolic. None of it was an exaggeration. And I've had so many people come up to me after, like, that boy was so stupid. I'm like, yes, but he has made me a lot of money, so we're okay with it. We're fine with it now. Anyway, so right as I'm about to say, so I'm like, but we're my friends, so the real title of my presentation is this. And I remember saying this thing, like, how the love of my life, like, when the love of my life phrase came out of my head, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I am, like, not stable. And have you guys ever had that moment where you're, like, standing there, and it's like, you know you're still, but you're like, I'm moving. I'm going. This is not how it's supposed to be. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where you're just like, I am not in a good place. So I remember, like, planting my legs, and I'm like, whoa. And I was like, that was just, like, a weird thing. So I'm like, maybe I just, like, need to move to the other side of the stage. And I'm still just I'm not doing well. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I can't, like, I feel like I'm out of my body. And it's like, I can hear myself speaking. God bless me for rehearsing insane amounts for this, right? Like, I can hear myself speaking, but, like, I'm not in my head. I'm, like, not there. And so moving forward, if you guys were there Funnel Hacking Live, you know the part where it's like, you want to hear about this phone call I had with Russell? Russell said this. I said this. And, like, our heads are on the little things. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's at this point where I realize I'm in a situation, and I'm literally like, I am going to fall over. And for whatever reason, I had this, like, clarity that I was like, I'm not breathing. Like, like, I don't know why it came to me, but all of a sudden it was like, you held your breath for the stupid fog machine, okay? You held your breath for the fog machine. I think that I was already just super excited. And then I just think I had this, like, rush of adrenaline, because I'm like, I'm out there. And if I'm going to be honest, I hadn't, like, eaten that much, but I was like, you know, it's like when you're, like, kind of nervous, but, like, it's like you're nervous, excited, and you're, like, not trying to not eat, so you're, like, forcing yourself to eat, but you're just, like, not that hungry. Do you know what I'm talking about? So, like, I hadn't eaten a ton for lunch. Or I'd eaten breakfast, but I, like, didn't really eat lunch, which, again, rookie mistake. We've learned some things. An idiot. So I'm on stage, and I'm literally like, I'm going. I don't know what's going on. And so I realized that I haven't, for whatever reason, I realized it's like, you're not breathing. And I'm talking a million miles a minute, which you guys know this if you were there, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in a situation. And and the reason why I know that I was going to faint is because for the first time in my life, I had fainted like 2.5, 3 months earlier. I was at home in Colorado, and my dad was leaving, and I was like, oh, like, let me get up to give you a hug. And I just, for whatever reason, I, like, stood up really fast, and I'd been sitting down for a second. I was, like, going hard on my computer, and I stood up really fast, and I gave him a hug, and, like, I just stood up too fast, and my dad was holding me, and all of a sudden, I just, like, literally fainted in his arms, and he, like, caught me, and he was like, whoa, 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 he's like, what's going on? And I just came back, and I was like, And so I like blacked out for just like a second, and it like kind of scared me. And so I think that was a gift though, because I would not have recognized on stage what was happening to me. And I was like, I feel like I'm about to faint because I know what that feels like. Anyway, on stage, so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I have a few decisions to make, because I'm not gonna like this. I'm actually not gonna make it. So I was like, okay, I literally was like, dear God, please God. I was like, this opportunity, this speaking on stage has the potential to change the trajectory of my life forever. And if I were to faint on stage, that's not the direction of our life change that we want it to go. That's not what we want, okay? So I was like, oh my gosh. So I literally say a prayer. I'm like, God, help me. Like, God, help me stay alive. And it's the weirdest thing. It's like I'm out of my head. Like, I'm still speaking the words, but I'm like going through things. And at this point in the speech, if you were there, you know the part when I'm like, there you are, sitting there with world domination pulsing through your veins. You know what I'm talking about? And like that emoji came up and was like, world domination. And I was like, you either end up with a blank funnel, or a funnel that looks like this, or a template, or a custom design that didn't turn out for you. And the whole time there was this narrator that was like, I got this. You know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about, that part? Okay, that's where we're at in the speech right now, okay? So I'm like praying to God. And I'm like, okay, I have two options. I either need to like consciously try and take like 10 breaths. And if that doesn't work, then I'm literally going to sit down. Like if you guys remember, if you're at Funnel Like, and there were like stairs that went down. I'm like, I literally think I have to like sit down and like just be like cool guy and just be like, all right, guys, like listen up, like bring it in. But I'm like, I'm actually going to fall over. And I'm just like there's no concept of the ground for me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared for myself. So then I'm like trying to take breaths. So guys, if you go back and watch, and we ran out of time, so maybe I'll show you this. Happy Valentine's Day. I'll show you this on Monday. Okay. I'll show you this on Monday. Like you can see, like I go and I'm saying these things, and then I'll take like this, like deep breath after, and I'll say another sentence, and I like take a deep breath. And I think if you look, you probably just think I'm excited, but I'm actually consciously trying to breathe to not pass out, while simultaneously not trying to ruin my time, because I don't want to disrespect Russell. That was another thing in my mind. I was like, I can't slow down. I'm going to go over my time. I can't slow down. And I won't disrespect Russell. I won't disrespect him. I just won't do it, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I remember I get to breath like 6 or 7, and I'm like, I'm going to have to sit down on the stage. Like, I think I'm going to have to sit down on the stage. And then, honestly, by the grace of God, all of a sudden, I don't remember when it switched, but I remember making this decision right before the movie came up. You can even see now, I talk so fast, I had to take a breath. Right before the movie went up, like, it was like, I remember I was like 10, 15 slides away from the movie, and I was like, I think I'm going to sit down during the movie. I think I'm actually going to sit. I am not doing well. And then somehow, by the grace of God, I remember as the movie is about to go on, and I'm like, did you guys remember this? And I'm like, all right, you guys want to see a movie that I made for you? Lights, camera, action. I remember having a moment then when I was like, I'm back. It's like somehow I got enough oxygen in my head and I made it. And literally, so I do it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I'm okay. Am I okay? I don't know. Am I okay? And this is all like going through my head where I'm like trying to do this speech in front of 5,000 people, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Also, what's happening, right? So I'm like, I think. And like all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not falling. Wait, am I? No, I'm not falling. And I was just so grateful. So then they play my video. If you guys were there, you know that they like botched up my video, which honestly ended up working out just fine for me. It ended up being funny, and I was like, I like gave a shout out to my mom at the beginning. So I was like, my mom is literally in the audience. Like I can't not do that. So that ended up working just fine. Anyway, oh my gosh, my grandma is on Instagram Live. Grandma, I didn't even know you were on Instagram. The internet, bringing kids together. Isn't it beautiful? Anyway, I just remember, hi Grandma, I just remember sitting there the video's finally going, and I'm standing there, and I remember like standing there with my hand on my hip, just like, and the whole time, I'm doing two things. I am looking out at the audience, and I'm trying to observe if they're engaged with the video. And they watch it the whole time. That's what you love to see. It was a 4-minute and 40-second video, and they're freaking engaged the whole time. That's what we like to call design hacking, story that converts. The second thing, I literally was just praying to God and was like, thank you, God. I was like, I was so afraid. I was like, God, thank you for not letting me faint. Thank you for helping me not faint. Thank you for helping me not faint. Thank you for helping me not faint. And then the rest of the time, I was back. And then I was back. I was normal Kathryn, and for whatever reason, I got enough energy to my head, and, like, I think my, like, adrenaline had, like, leveled out, and I was feeling way better about my life. But there truly was, okay, and again, we ran out of time. I'm way over time already, but, like, you can't skip on this story. We'll show it on Monday. There's, like, and you'll watch me and be like, and I literally, like, I'm so grateful to God that people didn't notice. I'm so grateful to God that I didn't actually faint. Also, like, what a story. I mean, like, let's be real. This has just turned into a week's worth of content for me. So that just really worked out for me as well. Anyway, so we get off the stage, and I'll have to fast forward through some other stuff, and I'll circle back on Monday about that. But I saw my coach. My coach is so great. So my coach, Katie Richardson, my branding director, Paul, and follow him at Lawless Studios. He's amazing. And one of my, like, business besties, Lauren Golden. They're all out when I finish. And again, I'm, like, skipping a huge portion of the story, but we're gonna fast forward to that. And they're out there, and I just hug Katie, and I start crying, because it's just such an emotional thing, and we just, like, gotten there together, and, like, blah, blah, I start crying, and I literally, like, I think one of the first things is, I'm like, Katie, I almost fainted. She's like, you did so good, and my response was, Katie, I almost fainted. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I almost fainted on stage. Oh my gosh. It was crazy. It was actually insane. Can you believe that I almost fainted on the Funnel Hacking Live stage? That would have been a first. And, you know, there's part of me that's like, wonders, like, could I had the wit and wherewithal to salvage that? Part of me is sad I didn't have the opportunity, and most of me is grateful that it didn't happen. But I think I told you this. I had contingency plans for just about everything. I'd really walk through everything. I'm like, you want to know what? If my jokes aren't landing, here's what we're going to do. If I trip on stage, literally if I trip on stage, because I can so see myself doing that, right? Like, I'm wearing heels. It's like, I had my plan. I literally knew exactly what I was going to say. It was going to be a joke about Jennifer Lawrence tripping at the Oscars. And I'm like, I don't know if that joke's going to land either, because I'm in a group of funnel hackers, but hey, it's worth a shot. You know, they can look it up after the pop culture reference. But I was not prepared for the near fainting. So truly, like, that's what it was. It was like this out of body experience where I hear the words coming out of my mouth. And again, God bless me that I practiced so many times that, like, even the intonation was okay. But I just remember being like, you guys are talking about, it's like when you're a little kid and you spin a million times and you're like, I don't know which way's up. I don't know where I am. Am I falling? I don't know. Okay, I'm going down. And then I didn't actually go down, but we almost did. That's the story of how I almost fainted. There's some pretty cool follow-up stories that we're going to finish with, but Monday I think we should watch film because it's just kind of funny. We watched it at dinner that night. They're like, no, you didn't. And my sister-in-law had, like, recorded it, and she's like, oh, yeah, you were going through things. I was like, I was literally going through things for, like, 2 minutes at least on the stage. So anyway, that's 18 minutes at 9. Sorry to be long, but mostly you can't skimp on a story like this. You guys are awesome. Come to Design Hacking Live. I hope you have an amazing Valentine's Day. And Grandma, I didn't know you got on Instagram. How exciting is this? Love you guys. Bye.